What if the most effective gut healing protocol ever designed wasn't developed by a gastroenterologist or published in a medical journal, but was written into the dietary laws, rituals, and daily meals of the biblical world thousands of years ago? Most people have no idea that while we're spending billions on probiotics, digestive enzymes, and gut health supplements, the Bible was already prescribing specific foods and practices that modern microbiome science is now proving repair the gut lining, feed beneficial bacteria, and reverse the digestive damage that's quietly destroying our health. These aren't vague spiritual guidelines. They're specific, actionable remedies with real clinical evidence behind them. And today, I'm going to show you 10 of them that will completely change the way you think about your digestion. Stick around because number 6 on this list was the primary protein source in the Gospels. Microbiome researchers have now discovered it contains a compound that reduces gut inflammation more effectively than most over-the-counter treatments. Number 10 was so central to biblical life that it appears over 140 times in Scripture. Gastroenterologists are now calling its key compound one of the most gut-protective substances ever studied. If you want ancient biblical wisdom backed by modern digestive science, delivered straight to you every week, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what's coming. Alright, let's get into it. Here are 10 biblical remedies that heal your gut instantly, ranked from remarkable to absolutely life-changing. We'll start with something most people think of as a sweetener, but it was actually one of the most sophisticated gut medicines in the ancient world: raw honey. The Bible references honey constantly. Proverbs says, "Eat honey for it is good." The Promised Land itself is described as flowing with milk and honey. Jonathan dips his rod in honey, and his eyes brighten with renewed strength. This was not poetic exaggeration. This was a culture that understood honey as medicine, and modern gut science is confirming exactly why. Raw honey contains oligosaccharides, short-chain sugars that function as prebiotics, selectively feeding beneficial bifidobacterium and lactobacillus strains in the colon. Studies show raw honey reduces populations of harmful bacteria, including Helicobacter pylori, the pathogen behind most stomach ulcers, while simultaneously promoting the growth of protective gut flora. It also contains defensin-1, a protein with direct antimicrobial action against gut pathogens. Here is the critical distinction. Raw, unheated whole honey is a living food, full of enzymes and beneficial compounds. The clear shelf-stable product in most grocery stores has been heated and filtered into something functionally different. The honey of the Bible was raw, unprocessed, and medicinally active. A spoonful on an empty stomach each morning. That was the traditional use. That is still the use. And if honey was the gut's protector, the next remedy was its daily fuel, barley. When Jesus multiplied the loaves and fish for 5,000 people in John 6, those loaves were barley bread. Barley was the grain of ordinary people, of soldiers, labourers, and fishermen. It turns out ordinary people were eating one of the most gut-friendly grains ever studied. Barley contains the highest concentration of beta-glucan of any grain. This is a soluble fibre that forms a gel in the digestive tract, slowing glucose absorption, feeding beneficial gut bacteria, and producing short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, that directly nourish the cells lining your colon. Butyrate is the preferred fuel source for colonocytes, the cells that make up your gut wall. Without adequate butyrate, the gut lining thins, becomes permeable, and allows inflammatory compounds to leak into the bloodstream. This is the mechanism behind what is now called leaky gut. Barley produces more butyrate per serving than virtually any other grain. The traditional preparation was whole barley cooked as porridge or ground into dense sourdough flatbread. The bread of the common people was quietly repairing the gut wall from the inside out. Now, barley healed the gut lining, but the next remedy populated it with the organisms that keep it functioning. Goat's milk. The Promised Land was not flowing with pasteurized, homogenized cow milk. It was flowing with the milk of goats, and this difference matters enormously for gut health. Goat's milk has smaller fat globules and a different protein structure than cow milk. Its primary protein is A2-casein rather than the A1-casein found in most commercial cow milk, and A2-casein produces significantly less inflammatory response in the gut lining. But here is what makes goat's milk a true gut remedy. Fresh, traditionally produced goat's milk is rich in natural probiotics, living beneficial bacteria that colonize the digestive tract. Studies show it is easier to digest for people who struggle with cow milk, produces less intestinal inflammation, and has a prebiotic effect that supports beneficial microflora. In biblical households, goat's milk was consumed fresh, fermented into yogurt and kefir, or aged into simple cheeses. Fresh milk for quick nutrition, fermented products for probiotic richness, aged cheese for concentrated minerals. The fermented forms are especially important. Biblical-era kefir and yogurt contain diverse bacterial strains that modern commercial products can barely replicate. The milk of the Promised Land was not just nourishment, it was a living ecosystem for your gut. And while goat's milk populated the gut with beneficial organisms, the next remedy fed those organisms exactly what they needed to thrive. Onions, Numbers 11. Records the Israelites weeping in the wilderness, mourning the onions and garlic of Egypt. Egyptian labourers who built the pyramids were partially paid in onions. Pharaohs were buried with them. This was not about flavour. This was about survival. Onions are one of the richest dietary sources of inulin-type fructans, prebiotic fibres that specifically feed bifidobacterium and lactobacillus strains in the colon. These are the exact bacteria that maintain gut barrier integrity, produce anti-inflammatory compounds, and prevent pathogenic overgrowth. Before anyone understood what the microbiome was, the ancient world was instinctively building a diet that fed it perfectly. Onions also contain quercetin, a polyphenol with powerful anti-inflammatory effects on the gut lining. Clinical trials show quercetin reduces intestinal permeability and calms inflammatory pathways in the digestive tract. Eat raw onions in salads and pickles for maximum prebiotic content. Cook them in virtually everything for flavour and fibre. Drink onion broth for recovery from illness. The people who mourned the onions of Egypt were not being dramatic, their guts were mourning too. And onions didn't work alone in the biblical diet. Right alongside them was their close cousin with an even more aggressive medicinal profile, garlic, listed in that same lament in Numbers 11, prescribed in over 20 preparations in the Egyptian medical papyri, used by every culture that encountered it as both food and medicine. Garlic contains allicin, created when the clove is crushed, a broad-spectrum antimicrobial compound active against bacteria, viruses, fungi and parasites. For gut health specifically, studies show allicin selectively targets pathogenic bacteria while largely sparing beneficial strains. This is extraordinary. Most antimicrobials, including pharmaceutical antibiotics, destroy beneficial bacteria alongside harmful ones, which is why antibiotic use so often leads to digestive problems. Garlic appears to discriminate. It fights the organisms causing damage while preserving the ones maintaining order. Clinical trials also show garlic reduces the severity and frequency of gut infections and supports the gut barrier against inflammatory damage. Raw, freshly crushed garlic is most potent. Allicin degrades with heat. The traditional use was raw garlic in dressings, crushed into olive oil, or eaten directly with bread. Think of garlic as the selective enforcer of your gut ecosystem. It removes what shouldn't be there without destroying what should. If you're starting to see how these biblical remedies work together as a complete gut healing system, not isolated supplements but an integrated dietary approach, hit that like button. It helps this video reach other people who are tired of band-aid solutions and ready for something that actually repairs the root cause. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time, because the back half of this list is where it gets truly powerful. Let's keep going with the remedy that was the primary protein source in the Gospels, the one I teased at the beginning. Fish. The disciples were fishermen. The miraculous feedings involved fish. Jesus ate broiled fish after the resurrection. In first century coastal Israel, fish was not a luxury, it was the foundation of the diet. And microbiome researchers have now discovered exactly why that matters. Fatty fish, including sardines, anchovies, and tilapia from the Sea of Galilee, are among the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids on the planet. EPA and DHA are essential fats the body cannot manufacture, and their effect on gut health is profound. Studies show omega-3 supplementation increases the diversity of the gut microbiota, promotes the growth of butyrate-producing bacteria, and reduces intestinal inflammation at the mucosal level. Omega-3s also strengthen tight junctions between gut epithelial cells, directly counteracting the leaky gut mechanism that drives so many chronic conditions. The fish of the biblical world were eaten whole, simply grilled over charcoal, no batter, no seed oil frying, no processing. The omega-3 content was preserved because the preparation was simple. Now, fish healed the gut lining from the inflammatory side. But the next remedy works from an entirely different angle. Figs. When King Hezekiah was dying from a severe infection, the prophet Isaiah did not just pray. He ordered a poultice of figs applied to the wound, and Hezekiah recovered. Figs are extraordinarily rich in soluble fibre, specifically pectin, which feeds beneficial gut bacteria and promotes the production of short-chain fatty acids in the colon. A single serving of dried figs contains more prebiotic fibre than most commercial prebiotic supplements. Figs also contain ficin, a proteolytic enzyme that aids protein digestion and reduces the burden on the gut. Studies show ficin breaks down food proteins more efficiently, meaning less undigested material reaches the colon, where it can feed harmful bacteria and produce inflammatory compounds. The traditional use was simple: fresh figs at their peak ripeness for gut health and energy, dried figs year-round for sustained prebiotic nutrition. In a world without fibre supplements, figs were the supplement. Think of them as the ancient world's most delicious prebiotic, packaged by nature in exactly the form your gut bacteria prefer. From figs we move to something with an even more targeted effect on gut infections. Pomegranate. 200 carved pomegranates adorn the pillars of Solomon's temple. The fruit appears throughout scripture as a symbol of abundance and life. Modern gastroenterology is fascinated by what it does inside the digestive tract. Pomegranate contains punicalagin, a polyphenol found almost nowhere else in nature that breaks down into urolithins in the gut. Urolithins have shown remarkable anti-inflammatory effects specifically on intestinal tissue. But here is what makes pomegranate exceptional for gut healing. The rind, which most people discard, contains even higher concentrations of antimicrobial tannins than the fruit itself. Studies show pomegranate rind extract is effective against gut pathogens such as E. coli and Salmonella, and it has documented antidiarrheal properties. Traditional healers across the Middle East used pomegranate rind tea for dysentery, intestinal parasites, and inflammatory gut conditions for centuries. The whole fruit matters. Seeds provide prebiotic fibre and polyphenols. Juice provides antioxidant support, and the rind, steeped as tea, provides direct antimicrobial action in the gut. And if pomegranate fought infection in the gut, the next remedy restored the gut's structural integrity after the damage was done. Ancient wheat. Not the wheat you're thinking of. When scripture references wheat, it is describing einkorn and emmer, varieties that are genetically, structurally, and nutritionally different from modern dwarf wheat. Einkorn has 14 chromosomes, compared to modern wheat's 42. Its gluten structure is fundamentally different, and many people who react to modern wheat tolerate einkorn without issue. But for gut health specifically, einkorn has a property that changes everything. Studies show its starch is more slowly digested, producing a lower glycemic response that reduces the insulin spikes driving gut inflammation. Its antioxidant content is significantly higher, and crucially, the traditional preparation method was slow fermented sourdough, which breaks down gluten proteins and phytic acid, making the grain dramatically easier on the gut. Modern wheat, processed at fast with commercial yeast into soft white bread, is damaging guts across the Western world. Ancient wheat, fermented slowly the way biblical bakers prepared it, may be exactly what those damaged guts need to heal. And that brings us to number 10. The remedy I save for last because it ties this entire list together. The one that appears over 140 times in scripture and sits at the foundation of the most gut-protective diet ever studied. Olive oil, the liquid gold of the ancient world. Kings were anointed with it. Wounds were dressed with it. The Good Samaritan in Luke 10 poured oil and wine into a stranger's wounds. This was not symbolic, it was medicine. And gastroenterologists now consider extra virgin olive oil one of the most gut-protective substances ever studied. The key compound is oleocanthal, a polyphenol that works almost identically to ibuprofen at reducing inflammation, but without the gut damage that ibuprofen causes. That distinction is critical. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen are one of the most common causes of gut lining erosion and ulceration. Oleocanthal delivers comparable anti-inflammatory power while actually protecting the gut lining instead of destroying it. Studies show extra virgin olive oil increases bifidobacterium populations in the colon, reduces markers of intestinal inflammation, strengthens gut barrier function, and modulates the immune response in the digestive tract. The Mediterranean diet, built on olive oil as its cornerstone, has been linked in hundreds of clinical trials to reduced rates of inflammatory bowel disease, colorectal cancer, and virtually every chronic digestive condition studied. Here is what ties this whole list together. Honey protects against pathogens, barley rebuilds the gut wall, goat's milk introduces beneficial bacteria, onions and garlic feed and police the microbiome, fish reduces inflammation, figs provide prebiotic fuel, pomegranate fights infection, ancient wheat removes the irritant that modern grains have become, and olive oil, poured over everything, ties it all together with anti-inflammatory protection that makes the entire system work. This was not an accident. This was a dietary pattern. The biblical world did not eat these foods in isolation. They ate them together, daily, as a complete nutritional ecosystem that modern microbiome science is only now beginning to understand, and the foundation of all of it, the oil poured over every meal, was olive oil. The ancients did not have the word microbiome. They did not know about butyrate or tight junctions or short-chain fatty acids, but they observed what healed them and built their entire diet around it. Modern science, with all its technology, keeps arriving at the same table they set 3,000 years ago. Drop a comment below and tell me which remedy surprised you most. Are you team prebiotics, team fermented foods, or team the liquid gold? I read every single comment. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now and ring the bell. We post every week and we're just getting started. See you in the next one.